who can. I mean, we've got the circus for the parents. We've got Wake Forest on Saturday, right?
Absolutely. Wake Forest making their way into Tallahassee. My parents aren't coming either. How sad. But, that's all right. The Wake Forest game, the circus, Parents Weekend is a great opportunity for freshmen and other students to really connect with their parents at their university. So it's wonderful. However, locally, you might want to tell them to bring a jacket.
We've got a cold front coming through. It's not going to be here until about the weekend, but that's what we're talking about here. It's going to be here around Friday evening, right?
Yeah, Friday evening into Saturday morning. It really is going to cool down our temperatures. It is the 1st of October, so welcome to fall. We're going to start seeing those fall-like temperatures into Sunday. Upper 40s for our lows, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll believe it when I see it, especially today. We had temperatures in the high 80s, right? Maybe did it hit 90 today?
We weren't quite 90 today. We got around 85, so mid to upper 80s. But we have been feeling those 90-degree temperatures lately. We saw them quite a lot of September. We'll talk about that later in your month in review. However, those cold temperatures, they're going to last a little bit, not too long into next Tuesday, but it's going to be nice.
Yeah, it should be enjoyable considering all the hot weather we've had over the past couple of weeks. But moving over to the forecast for the next day or so, we had a pretty dry day today, all things considered. Pretty clear out there. The winds were not too severe. We did get that heat up to 85 degrees, but the rain chances are going to be coming in along with our decrease in temperatures later this week. So the kind of a trade-off there. Not going to be a huge increase in rain chances until later on this week. And then, like you said, temperatures might be in the 40s as we move into the weekend towards the Wake Forest game. Nationally, we don't have not a whole lot going on except in Missouri and extending down to the Kansas City region. We do have some severe weather watches going on right now. We'll learn a little bit more about that later. Down here in Florida, we have some scattered showers popping up from the sea breeze, things like that. So nothing too significant thus far. And down here by the Gulf and New Orleans, we have some activity, some disturbed weather as well. But in the next few days, or tonight anyway, we're seeing 71 degrees. So low 70s is the low. It's going to be a pretty comfortable night out there. And then for tomorrow, all I can tell you right now is the winds are going to be coming out of the east-southeast at 5 miles per hour. So should be an interesting few days as this front continues to move in and we take a look at things as the season continues to settle in.
Yeah, and we're going to start seeing those fall-like conditions. However, up in Maine, other places, maybe flash back into summer.
We actually saw record highs over the past few days, and I know Montana saw a record high of around 97 for this late in the season. So did North Dakota.
Absolutely, and it's kind of interesting to see when you have these giant temperature differences, how much of an impact it makes on the weather. I mean, in Florida, we have the warm conditions. We like getting the cold, but in the north, people in the north are like, bring on the hotness. Like, I love it.
Well, Canada certainly, the north saw plenty of hot over the past few days. Even Canada got some warmer temperatures. But we've taken a look at things like that for right now. But let's take a local look at things with John.
Those warmer temperatures that you talked about finally broke through all those clouds we've had the last couple days, bringing in a couple of pockets of sunshine before the sun started going over the horizon. Clouds still filtering through the area, but not nearly as much, and we're going to see a lot of those clouds kind of pushing through the area over the next day or so, and then we're going to see those temperatures get closer to 90 degrees tomorrow. 85 is what we reached today, right on par with normal for this time of year. 63 is what we would normally reach during the morning hours. Because of those clouds pushing through, we did only reach down to 68 degrees this morning. Right now around the area, 90 degrees in Quincy, drops off by 10 degrees over to Monticello. Around the area, just about everybody in the 80s, except for Quincy there, reaching right around 90 degrees. There's a lot of things that are going to start to happen to change over the next couple of days. We've got this large low pressure system across the Central Plains bringing in some severe weather across parts of Missouri this evening. This is going to swoop down towards the south, bringing showers. These showers aren't going to stick around, so it's not going to be anything like we saw last weekend. But there will be a little bit of rain in the area tomorrow night, but not, again, anything like we've seen this past weekend. And then we'll start to see some more storms as that system pushes into the area. This is going to come right on through. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stall. So there will be a couple of thunderstorms that will come through late Friday evening, so between 6 and 10 o'clock Friday evening. And then we're going to push right into fall here. These temperatures are going to drop as we head into the early parts of the weekend. Temperatures tonight, though, 71 degrees. here in Tallahassee, low 70s around the area, calm conditions. So a couple of spots could drop into the upper 60s as those clouds push out of the area. And then tomorrow afternoon, we're talking 91 degrees with, again, maybe a shower, especially down towards the coast where they're still dealing with the sea breeze each and every afternoon. 90 degrees down at the coast at St. Mark's, upper 80s, a little bit cooler up into Georgia. And then heading around the area, we're looking like this for if you're heading outside the next couple of days. Keep out those shades and the flip-flops and the t-shirts and the shorts through Thursday and probably into early parts on Friday. Again, we're not going to get into that rain until late into Friday. So Friday afternoon, I think we're still going to get some sun in Friday morning. But if you're heading out Friday night into the late evening hours, we're going to want to wear those the rain boots and the galoshes there. It's going to be a little bit rainy on Friday evening, and then cooler conditions really sweep into the area on Saturday. If you're heading to the game on Saturday, bring a jacket. You may not want to bring a skirt for the girls out there. You're going to want to bring some shorts, maybe even some jeans for Saturday evening for the game there. It's going to be a little bit cool towards the end of the game. 60% chance of rain on Friday, and then we're going back down into the low 80s, and then we have Tawana now with the southeast forecast.
Thank you, John. Around the southeast is relatively warm. As you can see, 86 is the current temperature in Montgomery, 82 in Atlanta, 83 here in Tallahassee, a little bit cooler in Jacksonville at 79. So the warm temperatures are sticking around for today, and they will be there for tomorrow. But as soon as that cold front starts to swing through, that will all change. For now in Orlando, they're seeing a bit of showers, some scattered showers across the peninsula of Florida. And if we look at New Orleans, they're getting some storms right now, so rush hour traffic is not going to be the best with all that rain just pouring down in their area. So you see the moisture associated with those showers affecting New Orleans, and that's going to move our way, but that's going to mainly dissipate by the time it gets here. And then Friday is when that cold front moves through, and then you'll see just basically all greens, which is the moisture, just envelop Tallahassee for that day, and then it'll be all gone by Saturday for the game. So futurecast rainfall, nothing for tonight. And if we let this move on through, you see as that cold front starts to approach, you see the rain builds up with the green. So 0.28 for Shreveport by Friday morning and Friday evening. 0.46 of an inch in Montgomery, and that as the night progresses, Tallahassee will start to see some more rain in the area. On the water, perfect boating day for tomorrow. If you want to go fishing tomorrow, early sunrise is at 7:27 a.m. We're going to have some east-southeast winds at 5 to 10 knots and some relatively light waves. So keep in mind there might be a chance of a shower on the water tomorrow, but perfect boating day nonetheless. Tonight, 69 will be our low in Tallahassee, 63 in Montgomery, 75 in New Orleans. New Orleans is going to have a bit of a more mild evening tonight. And for tomorrow, warm day once again. 90 will be our high in Tallahassee. We're going to share that high with Orlando and Miami, and Montgomery is going to be hitting 91. So mostly summer-ish type conditions and warm conditions around the southeast for tomorrow. So I'm going to send it to Jake and Braden.
All right, thanks, Tawana. You know, let's talk about weather history really quick. I mean, 10 years ago today was actually the eruption of Mount St. Helens, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. Volcano eruptions are pretty intense, especially if you're in the area. And the USGS is talking that Mount St. Helens is showing some signs of life again.
The magma core, which is approximately, they're saying, 5 miles below the surface, showing activity again, which was indicative of what happened last time when the eruption occurred.
Absolutely. We don't know much about volcano forecasting, obviously. It is more about the weather, but we do have all the information we need for you right here. Japan saw the eruption of Mount Take on September 27th of this year also.
Almost, it's a couple days short of 10 years on the dot. That's pretty crazy when you consider how similar they were in terms of destruction.
Absolutely. You know, we're talking about volcanoes. Definitely something we don't have to deal with unless you're in Yellowstone or out by Mount St. Helens. But we'll talk about the rest of the nation right now with John.
Actually, I'm going to throw a fun fact at you. Because of that eruption over in Japan this last week or so, there's a lunar eclipse happening that is unrelated to that volcano, but it's happening on October 8th, and that because of the lunar eclipse and that volcanic eruption, the lunar eclipse could actually be a little bit more red than it normally would have been without that volcanic eruption. But going around the country right now, we talked about Yellowstone. There's some snow falling in northwestern Wyoming right now. The main storm system, though, right now is in the upper Midwest, causing some severe weather in Missouri. And then we have that area of showers down towards Louisiana, and that's going to spread our way, but it's really going to bring in just clouds for our area. Most of the South is dealing with some summer-type temperatures around Dallas, 93 degrees, 87 in Memphis, 91 in Miami, but the real cool weather is back towards the west, 47 in Denver, 58 in Salt Lake City, some 30s in some of those higher mountaintops there. There's a warm front down towards the south of our area, though, that is just starting to develop right now. Really, it's going to take another 24 to 48 hours before this really starts to get any sort of energy with it. There's plenty of moisture to work with, though. So that's where we're going to see some of that moisture come in as we head into Friday night. Here's the troublemaker well up into Canada, up north of the Canadian border right now. But there's plenty of moisture. You can see some of that moisture in the mountains of the Yellowstone National Forest there. And here's plenty of rain down into the upper Midwest right now. And moving through the UP of Michigan into the Arrowhead of Minnesota. And then there's some severe weather down towards the south. There's a tornado watch box that's in effect until 10 o'clock in the central Missouri area, and also a tornado warning in the Jefferson City area in Missouri. And here's a look at that. Here's that tornado warning just north of the Jefferson City area. And there's been a lot of rainfall in this area, so there's flood watches in effect there as well, and a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings up towards just east of the Topeka area. And there's plenty of weather happening still. Again, here's that here's the upper Midwest here in the Rockies. Just a couple of early season snow showers happening there in the upper mountains there. Here's another troublemaker. We'll get to this more on the weather desk here in a little bit, but there's a subtropical system or non-tropical system pushing off the East Coast. Some of those flights heading from Boston or New York across the pond, there's going to be some travel delays there, and there's some rain falling in the Boston area, causing some delays well over an hour in New York and in Boston. That's at LaGuardia in New York. Temperatures sitting in the low 70s, and this is going to change over the next 24 to 36 hours. These temperatures are going to drop in some places 30 degrees during the overnight hours. Again, here in Tallahassee, we're dealing with the upper 40s, possibly Sunday morning into the early parts of next week. Temperatures for the high temperatures, 93 degrees in Dallas. And those are also going to take a tumble as we head into the next couple of days. Now we've got a newcomer on the show this evening. Lauren, tell us a little bit more about the local weather.
Thanks, John. So we're going to take a look at the local weather real quick. Let's see. The rest of the work week right now, today is the last dry day here in Tallahassee. Unfortunately, we do see those rain chances return on Friday, and it is actually going to cool down quite a bit once we have a cold front move through the area. Tomorrow you see that high is going to be 91, going to be a little bit warm out there, and Friday high of 88, still a bit warm as well. Currently, we have 83 degrees in Tallahassee, 90 up in Quincy. That's our hot spot right now for this evening. We do have winds in Tallahassee coming from the east at 7 miles per hour. Definitely a little bit breezy out there. Apalachicola, you also see some winds around 7 miles per hour coming off that coast as well. So looking at the radar, you do see those clouds are moving out of the region, which is nice, but unfortunately, those conditions aren't going to last too long. Looking at the radar, we do see some scattered showers in the rest of Florida and some showers over in New Orleans as well, but right now it is clear in Tallahassee. So let's take a look at the big picture. We do see a low pressure system in the Central Plains right now. It's just kind of hanging out. We also have a cold front extending to the south, and that's going to bring some stormy conditions to the Central Plains. John was talking earlier about how we do have some tornado watches in effect in that area. Now, as we put this into motion, we do see this low pressure system dip to the south a bit, and we are going to see the drizzly conditions move into Tallahassee tomorrow afternoon. Not too big of a deal. Now, as this low pressure system continues to move to the west, we are going to see some stormier conditions move in. This is looking around Friday, about 6 p.m. That's when we're really going to see the most rain chances in the Tallahassee area. So tonight's forecast, we have 71 degrees, not too bad. It's going to be a mild night out there with calm winds. And tomorrow it's going to be hot, like I said earlier. We're looking at a high around 91 degrees, only a 10% chance of showers, so not too bad. But like I said, it is going to be hot and not too comfortable. All right, let's take a look at the week ahead. Like I said, we have those chance of showers moving into the area this weekend. On Friday, that's when we're going to see the biggest chance of showers with a high of 88. Tomorrow is going to be our warmest day. And then once that cold front moves through the area, the temperatures are going to decrease, which is going to be nice, and we are going to see a lot of sunshine. So we're going to send it to Tawana and John for a look at the tropical forecast.
Thanks for your fantastic first forecast there.
Yes, so proud. Great job, Lauren.
Great job, Lauren. And I told you I was going to tell you about that non-tropical system well out in the Atlantic. Now we're going to get to it.
Yeah, so it's about 400 miles south of Nova Scotia, and it's not really expected to turn into anything,
Right.
but it's there and it's causing some havoc in New York. So
Yeah, if you're heading across the pond, just like I mentioned, there are some flight delays. I would imagine some flight delays across the Northeast for anyone traveling to England or anywhere in Europe, really.
that's true. Not the best travel conditions, but what can you do? It's the weather, right?
And now it is hurricane season, although that system wasn't really tropically related, but there is a system off the Mexican coast.
So it's east of Mexico, well, west of Mexico, sorry, and it's going to be developing over the next day or so into a tropical depression, and it's going to cause some serious flooding in that area.
Yeah, a lot of southwestern Mexico is on the mountainous side, so anything that gets in that area really causes some flooding, mudslides, life-threatening situation down there, especially if there's any very heavy rainfall.
Yeah, exactly. But Jake will be telling us about what's happening around Florida.
Yeah, guys, it's been another warm one all around the Florida Panhandle today. We saw temperatures all around the 80s, at mid-80s throughout the day. Over here in Tallahassee, we're still sitting at 83 degrees, all the way down to Miami, which is the hot one, 91 degrees. So things are still warm all around, but as we've been hearing all the show, things are going to be getting a lot cooler as we move on. But right now we see a lot of moisture around Florida because it's causing all our showers with the sea breeze. Not a whole lot in terms of front action, not right now. We see 79 degrees relative humidity, so this is a good indicator of how moist things are. Closer to this is, the value is to 100, good indicator of how much moisture we have in that area. So 85 in Orlando, 82 in West Palm Beach. Things are pretty moist all around Florida right now. Even in Tallahassee, we're sitting around 60% relative humidity. Satellite and radar give you a better look at the scattered showers we see coming off the sea breeze. Sitting off the coast right now, we see a little bit moving towards Fort Myers and West Palm Beach area. Nothing too significant, nothing severe going on right now anyway. We look over here towards the Gulf, see some disturbed weather moving around near close to Pensacola, a little bit west. Shouldn't be too big of a factor for the majority of Florida throughout the evening and the next couple of hours. Taking a look around Jacksonville, this is just dust particles and things like that. Bad return. So the blue up here by Jacksonville is not an indicator of moisture, but taking a look down here in this cell right here, that's a pop-up shower. So we have a few of these all around the board here, basically moving all the way south towards Daytona Beach. We see one moving off the coast. Further south, moving towards Miami, we see one moving off the coast of West Palm Beach, just all around the area, pretty much as the moisture's so high, and we just continue to see the sea breeze fuel these precipitation chances. That's not going to be the case as we move on towards the week, though. We're going to have a front providing a little bit more in terms of our rain chances. Orlando seeing the bulk of the action over the past few hours with those systems moving off towards the Atlantic. Take a look at Tallahassee. Once again, just bad returns from our radar. This is dust particles, things like that. It's mostly clear outside for the most part. So we're not seeing any precipitation around the capital city region for right now. But for tonight, we're seeing 69 degrees over here in Tallahassee, 68 degrees in Jacksonville. So it's going to be a pretty nice night out there. Calm winds are in the forecast. Down here in Orlando, 75 degrees, 74 in Tampa. Things are warming up quite a bit. Staying warm down there, 78 in Miami, and Key West, 79. But we expect it to be fairly warm in these regions as we move off into the next tonight and tomorrow. But tomorrow, another warm one, guys. Still don't have the really cold temperatures moving in. 90 degrees in Tallahassee, 86 in Jacksonville, 90s around the board for Orlando, Tampa, Fort Myers, West Palm Beach, and Miami. So not as warm as we've seen over the past few months, but still pretty warm. But let's take a look at, hurricane season's not over despite the approach of fall. So Braden, tell us a little bit about the tropics.
That is correct, Jake, and we are going to go ahead and talk about the tropics. Tropical update, let's bring it in, let's bring it together. Like Jake was saying, it's not quite over yet. A couple storms that we've had, Arthur to Edward, a major hurricane. That was a while ago. We haven't seen much since then, which is great. But like Jake said, let's stay cautious. We'll be okay. Our hurricane climatology for October, you could see not as big as September, which is great, but it could still happen. We usually see storms form in the Caribbean and make their way through Florida. This is probably the best month, or the month with the highest risk for United States landfall. So we want to make sure we know that as we go ahead. But now that we're talking about October, let's go back to September real quick and take your month in review. I'm going to step off the screen so you can get the full force of this graphic. In September, our highest temperature was 97 degrees. That took place on September 2nd. Our lowest temperature was 60 degrees, which took place on the 22nd and 26th of September both. We're going to go ahead and zoom out, give you a couple more stats. Excuse me. Days with temperatures greater than 90 degrees, like I was talking about earlier, 13, so about half the month. We were looking pretty hot in the mid-afternoon hours. Days of rain with an inch or more, we had 2 of those, so 2 days with some pretty significant rain. I think you guys remember the one a week or 2 ago. Pretty significant stuff going on. Days with measurable rain, 12. So, in August, especially in the early summer months, we're seeing a lot of rain every day. Starts to move down a little bit in September. So we kind of have that going on. But we'll go ahead and bring you into a little tri-state area forecast. 83 in Tallahassee right now, 81 out in Valdosta, 80 down in Gainesville. A little warmer, actually, the warm spot all the way up in Montgomery, Alabama, sitting at 86 degrees. They are not seeing the clouds. Meridian, also 87 degrees. So dew point, again, another good indicator of the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. The closer the dew point is to the temperature, that's where we're really seeing some moisture. Again, down in Gainesville, 72, Orlando, 74. Jake was talking about all that moisture down in Orlando really getting the brunt of those sea breeze thunderstorms, and you could really see that on this graphic. Satellite and radar up in our area showing not too much, but up in Louisiana, you could see a little bit of convection making its way into Louisiana and Mississippi. And if I walk this way, back out to Florida, you could see sea breeze storms still forming and making their way to the east as we go on the next couple of days. Airports, northeast not looking too good, southeast looking great. So we're lucky there. Tonight, upper 70s to lower 80s, 80 in Tallahassee and Valdosta, both 77 out in Macon. That's going to be your cool spot. 78 both in Gainesville and Jacksonville. And then as we go into later tonight, 74, into tomorrow, 87, 86. And then as we get back into the next night, looking at upper 60s for your lows. So Tawana, John, what are we talking about?
We're going to be expanding on a little bit of what you were talking about before, how October, Florida is the most likely state to get hit by storms.
Yeah, why is that, Tawana?
That is because most storms form either along the southwest Atlantic, either the southeast of the Gulf of Mexico, or in the Caribbean Sea. So all those just hit right into Florida.
Yeah, that's because of the warmer water that is starting to cool off here in the Gulf and the Caribbean. Not quite cool enough to keep storms at bay, but It is a little bit cooler way out in the Atlantic where we saw them in September.
Yeah, so since 1850, 32 hurricanes have hit Florida in just October.
Yeah, now we've talked about the hurricane history, but one hurricane that hit in October was Wilma, right?
Yes, October 24th, 2005. That was not the best day for me. It knocked out my power for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, nothing like that today. And Donovan has our full local forecast. We've also got a game on Saturday. What's that going to be like, Donovan?
That's right, guys. Thank you, and I hope everyone's having a good first day of October. You say October, if you spent any time outside today, felt nothing like October weather. But first, let's talk about our weather headlines here coming up for the next few days. Our last dry day is tomorrow. Those rain chances return to Friday, about a 60% chance. We can almost count on that for sure. Friday evening, getting some thunderstorms, some good rain showers. Upper 40s maybe this weekend for lows going into Sunday morning. That's going to be very cold. That's the first sign of fall weather we've really seen this year. Here are our current conditions. Here in Tallahassee, we're sitting at 83. That dew point 67 degrees. relative humidity 59%, a little windy out there. Again, nothing like fall weather. It feels more like summer today. I personally enjoy it, and we've only got a couple more days of this weather, so we should all enjoy it before we get those rains. But let's talk about our current temperatures here in the region. Here in Tallahassee, again, at 83. Up in Quincy, they're at really dark red. They're at 90 degrees. Down towards the coast, Apalachicola and Carabel, that Gulf Coast towns there, they're about low 80s as well. They're not getting a lot of relief from the Gulf breeze, it looks like. Here's our satellite and radar. We're just expanding out here in the southeast. You see New Orleans, as we've talked about, there's a lot going on over there. We expect a lot of this activity to reach our way by Friday, so be ready for that. Here's an even bigger look at the country. This is the culprit up here, this area of low pressure with a cold front behind it. It's going to be moving in rather rapidly by Friday evening. Again, be ready. Tomorrow, expect a possible drizzle in the afternoon. Shouldn't be anything too bad. A lot of good things going on tomorrow, really. But there it is, there Friday at 6 o'clock. Oh man, it's those thunderstorms. Hopefully they get out of here soon. They don't stick around too long. We don't expect them to, but we'll talk about that more in just a moment. Here's our beach forecast for Thursday. That wind out of the east-southeast, about 5 to 10 knots. That surf is a little greater than 1 foot. The water temperature, 82 degrees, very comfortable. A good day to get out there tomorrow. Take advantage of the good weather, those sunny skies, and high temperatures. Now let's look at on the water. If you're gonna get out there, for all you fishermen, definitely it's that time of year for oysters. I'm gonna come down there and eat some. If y'all are out on the water, it's a great day tomorrow. Now, real quick, let's look at tonight's forecast. 71 degrees here in Tallahassee, basically 70s across the board. Even up into South Georgia, they're looking at pretty similar conditions, and it's a mild night. Now let's plan our day for the next, for tomorrow. Tomorrow we got a mild morning, about 72 degrees when we get out and go to work. And the chances for clouds build, those stray showers by the mid-afternoon. And our 7-day forecast, again, it's looking like high 90 or low 90s for tomorrow, getting down the 80s as that cold front moves in, getting those 40s on Sunday. So get ready for that. Hope you have a great weekend as well for that game.
That rain looks nice here in Tallahassee, but where they don't need the rain is where they have had a lot of rainfall in the month of September.
Daytona Beach had their wettest September ever, which is actually expected from all those sea breeze thunderstorms that pop up over in that area.
And they had a lot of snow up in the Midwest.
Rapid City and Boulder got their earliest indications of snow.
Yeah,
So
and that happened back on September 12th and 11th.
Yeah, so that's fun. But we don't have to worry about snow. We have to worry about rain coming up on Friday. That 6% chance of rain on Friday, and then those colder temperatures.
I don't know. I'm excited about those 40s on Sunday morning.
Maybe you, but not so much me.
Well, either way, you get the sunshine, a couple of clouds next week, so it looks good.
Better week than this week. But if you like us, you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter.
Or you can watch us again on live stream or here in Channel 4 at 11:30 tonight.
So it's great to keep in contact with you. So message us Facebook, Twitter, send us your pictures. We'd love to use them on the show.
We'd love to see those game day pictures on Saturday and some cool weather pictures. Bring out the coats this weekend.
Have a great night, Tallahassee.
Have a great night, and go Knowles. Make sure you get those pictures for us.